floor without a question. She's tuning heads, leave them dead in all directions. And she give her love in doses like medicine. That's okay, I got you, babe. Oh, okay, I got you, yeah, oh, I got you, babe.
The Green Room, a dive into the minds of the artist.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Green Room, the show that gives you the dive into the minds of the artist. Oh, yeah. Today we are broadcasting to you from the Soundwave Music Media headquarters in Mississippi, and I am Cody Denning, your host. Today we have on Tyler from the band Honeyhounds, and he's going to tell us all about the band, all about the trip that they've been through from start to finish and everything they're doing, and we're going to attack it right now. Thank you for watching The Green Room, and let's dive into it. What's up, Tyler? How you doing, brother?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me on.
So we got a bunch of research
Oh,
about you guys, and just start from the beginning. The band, I believe, started in 2012 in Orlando, and I could have that wrong, but just take it from the top, man. Tell us how you started out. How did you guys really start? What was the real defining moment that you guys knew you wanted to be the Honeyhounds?
so it's kind of a long journey to get here. Uh, in 2012, I think that's when Nick started his. That's when he was in college. Nick's the guitarist and vocalist of the band. So he, we had mutual friends. We're both from, or I went to high school in Ocala in Central Florida, and he used to come to my parties in Tallahassee when I was going to school there. So I used to throw these pretty wild parties on the weekends. So I met him there. We kind of jammed a couple times, but nothing really happened. And after college, I moved on to a sailboat. I was kind of traveling for 2 or 3 years, and I was filming a sailing documentary. And I wanted to record an original soundtrack for the movie. So I reached out to Nick. He had just put a single out called Hole in One that was like kind of gaining some traction in Florida. And I thought it'd be a good sound. So we linked up. We ended up like writing the soundtrack over the course of like 2 weeks. And then we started writing some originals together, just kind of fucking around. And yeah, he ended up moving on the sailboat. This was in 2015 when me and him started working together. Um, yeah, he ended up moving on my sailboat, and we moved to the Florida Keys. And yeah, we started out kind of just busking the streets and ragtagging, like getting gigs wherever we could. Um, and we ended up getting like I think it was an 8 song. Our first record was 8 songs. We ended up recording on our boat, and yeah, just kind of put it out there. Wasn't sure what was going to happen, and started getting some gigs around the state in the southeast, and yeah, that's kind of how we started. No real like plans of anything, and yeah, just put the record out to see what happened, and that ended up being our first record, No Sleep.
That's really cool, man. And yeah, I meant to say that in the beginning. That's the album you guys are best known for. I seen another song off that album just clipped a million, is it? A million plays on
Yeah,
Spotify.
yeah.
Um, that's wicked, dude. That's wicked. Which song is that clipped a million?
The most recent one was I Got What You Need
Yeah,
off of that
yeah.
record.
I like that one too.
Yeah,
Um,
but Spinach is that's definitely our biggest song right now. That was like our first ever single, I guess you could say, even though we didn't release singles off that record, but that one was written more in the style of a single. So off that first record.
now, so dive into the evolution of the band. So you guys were like a duo. Now, how do we get from duo to a four-piece band? All right, you guys are four-piece now?
Yeah, so Yeah, it started out with just me and Nick. Um, the original setup was kind of crazy, and it was kind of just out of necessity. I ended up selling my drum kit when I moved on the sailboat, and I bought just like this little cajon, like one of those wooden boxes, and that was just for out of necessity, and we were like busking at different places. So the original setup was I'd have like a little splash cymbal for my cymbal. I would have a like a rolling drum pad with routed to foot triggers and shit. So I'd be like dropping 808s, but also have like a tambourine I was playing and hitting the side of the cajon as a snare, and it's like a funky setup, but just kind of, we're getting whatever sound across that was as much sound as I could, with as little as possible without having to load up a whole drum kit. So at first it was just the two of us, and we ended up moving to North Florida, Jacksonville Beach, where we live now. That was in 2016, so right after we put out our first record. And yeah, our buddy, who's now our bass player, he kind of took on the role of like almost like a manager or like booking agent our first year we moved up here. Got us some gigs and festivals and stuff. And yeah, we ended up asking him to join the band as the shows got bigger.
I
Wanted
was
to
so you're
because we
talking
were
about
still yeah, we're talking about Nate,
yeah,
but
yeah.
we were still like on record, we were still recording as a full band. Me and Nick were just doing everything. So as we wanted to translate that live, we decided to bring on a full-time bass player. Then I bought another drum kit, and we started tracking drums again and playing shows with drums. And then Max, our keyboard player, he joined the band, I guess, in 2021.
Ooh, so he's recent. Yeah, yeah. Well, dive back to Nate. So who manages the band now?
Right now we're independent. We're in between agencies right now. We've been with like a local group since 2019. Our contract just got up with them a few months ago, so we're in between
Nice.
agents right now.
Awesome.
But
I
yeah,
mean, it's not a bad place to be with the sound good like you guys got, man.
yeah, appreciate it, man. We're staying busy for sure.
So, how does the keyboard, how's the keys like? Take us into that, him coming on, and like how does it change the dynamic of the whole sound? Like,
Yeah, for sure. It definitely helps. I mean, everything from landscapes and atmospherics to, I mean, Max is super talented. I mean, he can play whatever genre, whatever vibe. Like he's he can easily translate like kind of whatever creative vision we have. Plus, he brings his own influences and stuff to the table, which is great. He's a huge like Bernie Worrell guy from Parliament and the Funkadelic. So, um, our sound, we're definitely blues guys at heart, but um, we like to get heavy, do some rock and roll stuff here and there, and some kind of funkier stuff as well. So he's into all the same shit. So it definitely helps. He can get heavy with us, do some like distorted organs, or get funky with the clavinet, or do the trippy pads. So it definitely helps, especially with the live show. It's fun to mix it up and bring a whole bunch more dynamics than just the three piece.
yeah, yeah, and it does make your guys' music much more psychedelic,
Yeah, for
especially
sure.
live, I would imagine. Um, so moving forward, like, talk about, what's the difference recording together, but with you got more minds on a song now. Does everybody kind of do their part and work together and mesh together, or does one person kind of lead a song and say, like, this is what I want for a song? How does it how does it go as the band grows and gets bigger?
So I've always been a songwriter, like a lyricist, even before I played the drums. So I definitely have like I'm come from more of the lyrical school of thought. You know, that's kind of how I start a song. But Nick's more of a like a rhythm section kind of guy. You know, like a chord progression or a melody or something will come to him naturally first. So we usually kind of will bring an idea to the table. Either I'll have a lyrical or conceptual idea, or he'll have an overall vibe or a melody or something, and we'll kind of collaborate that way. Me and Nick do the majority of the writing. Max definitely helps out with a lot of the musical side of things. He contributes a lot on, leads or textures or tones or overall vibes, stuff like that. Um, so yeah, every now and then someone will have a fully like sculpted out song that they'll bring to the table. Here's a song I've been working on, or I've always wanted to do something like this. So our approach is kind of similar to the Beatles. Like everyone gets we'll give every song their chance, like their
Even
chance
Ringo,
to do something.
yeah, even Ringo could write a song.
Yeah, yeah,
Hey, he
for
wrote
sure.
some awesome songs too, and I will say that.
Oh,
But
Ringo's my dude.
yeah, dude, well, let's move into that, like so what are some like specific albums, maybe some artists that have really grabbed your attention and inspired you to really want to write and perform?
Oh man, I mean, I grew up on the Beatles. Um, yeah, so I mean, lyrically wise and songwriting wise, I'd say Beatles are probably my biggest influence. Just like what they were able to accomplish and the having two, I mean, really four strong songwriters, but Paul and John, like, Paul's more of a surface level kind of writer, where John's kind of more of like an under the surface, every line's kind of got two meanings. So,
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yes. That's
yeah, it's
yeah.
I'm definitely always been attracted to that, um, but then I mean, musically, I don't know, much more broad. The reason I bought my first drum kit was Led Zeppelin. I was a huge Led Zeppelin fan, still am. But in high school, I was obsessed with like Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, all the psychedelic rock guys, like British Invasion, all that type stuff, Cream. Um, but yeah, Dazed and Confused with John
Oh man.
Bonham.
Little
I was
story on
like,
my side. I mean, like, so I was picking my drummer for my band, the Gypsy Kid, and I was playing with a few different drummers at the time, but like I knew I really liked this drummer. He came out and he had this like black book, and it was John Bonham's drum book, like with all the Led Zeppelin tablature in it, and he just laid that sucker out because I was like, in practice, I want to play Dazed and Confused, and then I wanted to play How Many More Times, and those are two cover songs I like to do. But yeah, and we'll probably cut all this out, but I'm just saying the technicality of John Bonham's drumming is just still to this day top shelf.
yeah, for sure. But it's the feel more than anything. Like
Yeah,
he
like
just he just
the
yeah,
way
he just had the
yeah.
feel. Oh yeah, how many
Oh,
more times? That's a good one too. That
mm.
performance they did on the Danish television show, that's like,
Is that the black and white where everybody's sitting down? Yes,
yeah,
yes,
Jimmy
yeah, yeah.
Page during his
That
intro, he's playing Smokestack Lightning with
and
the wah
he's
cocked. Oh yeah, it's fucking awesome,
got a
dude.
Telecaster.
Yeah,
Yeah, man, that made me go get a Telecaster. Oh
yeah,
man,
yeah. So they're
but
they're one of the biggest influences for sure of our band.
people are saying too. And Soundwave's definitely not saying, but other people are like, we need to take them off the top five or top 10 greatest rock bands of all time because there's other band like some people, some and
Be no heavy metal without Led Zeppelin. I mean, dude, their music was so ambitious and their performances were so ambitious. You never knew like what you were gonna get, you know. Maybe 1 in 5 Led Zeppelin shows were actually good shows from people I've talked to and people I've seen, you know. Either they were too fucked up or it's just fucking hard to hit all those parts on every song every single night, you know.
Oh,
Plus they were
absolutely.
actually living the lifestyle
Yeah.
and
So do you got, but also their music was just different too then. Like that they wouldn't
it
play their
was
songs
dark.
the
It
same. They
was
would have
dark,
the
man. They didn't
same
write singles. Like it
they
went
would
straight
have the
from the
same
Beatles into Led Zeppelin, which is the
yeah.
darkest, nastiest, like, you know, I mean,
Right.
do your research on Jimmy Page. Like he definitely, if
Oh
anyone went to
yeah.
the crossroads and made some deals, it was that guy for sure.
What influences you from the bands about a live show? Like what what do you take from artists as some of the most inspiring stuff and then bring it on the stage
Some
with
of
you?
my favorite bands live would probably be like Queens of the Stone Age, the Arctic Monkeys, Rage Against the Machine. But then there's um, some like the new funk type, like neo funk bands are super tight and polished, like the Parcels or our buddies Frank Moody. They're incredible. Um, like Corey Wong, if you've ever seen his band, it's just like the tightest band in the world. And it's like definitely not what we do, but it's just inspiring to see like guys locked in and also just having fun with the guys that you're playing with. That definitely translates. So
Right,
first things
right.
first, like obviously you gotta be well rehearsed and know the music, but you gotta have fun with the people that you're playing with.
I
Otherwise
think
it doesn't translate.
that's one of the things we respect the most about Honeyhounds. It's like we listen to you guys and it must just be something about Jacksonville bands because like I've seen you guys are tight, just tight together. You guys aren't you from Jacksonville or am I wrong?
I was raised here till I was like in 8th grade. I moved to Central Florida for high school, and that's where Nate and Nick are actually
Yeah.
from. And we just randomly kind of reconnected in Jacksonville.
Well, hell yeah, man. Well, all right, everybody, we're going out to a quick break, and we'll be right back after that. Thank you for watching The Green Room. And before we get going, I just wanted to say, we do this to support the musicians, and we do this to give everybody a real clean look at what's going on in the music world. And the best way to do that, to help us do that, is to buy stuff at the Soundwave Music Media store. Go get a t-shirt if you want, and we'll be back after this break. Thank you.
A glimpse behind the scene. The Green Room.
If you're a guitar player and you're looking for a great new acoustic guitar or custom guitar, check out Zager Guitars. They support us here at Soundwave, but not only that, they make excellent guitars. Check out ZagerGuitars.com. What's up, rock fans? Have I got something for you, man? Methylene Blue. This stuff is incredible. And it's not just about the energy, but how well it does for your body. It gets things past the blood-brain barrier, all this stuff, but it's going to give you primal energy. I've talked to like 3 different artists lately, and they said how they've been using Methylene Blue while they're on tour, and how it's helping them more than a Red Bull or some pick-me-up, drag-me-down stuff. But this stuff gives you the best energy. Don't take it if you're on SSRIs or antidepressants or any of that stuff. Consult your doctor before taking it and do your own research. But I am telling you that I have experienced some healthy energy with Methylene Blue. I've heard of people that take it and they use it while they're on tour, and it does wonders for them. It's one of the first drugs that ever came out, and luckily we got a sponsor for it, and we're bringing it to our readers and our viewers. So go to our website and click on the Methylene Blue link and take it there. Help us, and and we love helping you. So it's like a win for everybody. We would not be doing any of this without our friends at DistroKid. If you are an artist or a new musician trying to get your music out there on all the big platforms like Spotify and iHeartRadio, go check out DistroKid. And while you're at it, use our code and get 20% off. Yes, 20% off your membership fees. Check out DistroKid and support Soundwave. Thank you.
The Green Room, a dive into the minds of the artist.
We're back with the Green Room. Yeah, we got Tyler from Honeyhounds, and we've been talking about, how the band came together and how everything's transitioned. We've got more members in the band now, some keys, and this big bluesy rock and roll psychedelic sound these guys have. And I was just talking with them in the break about, touring and playing shows and how that's evolved as they've kind of grown as a band. So you take it away, Tyler.
Yeah, I guess we've been ever since we officially formed as the Honeyhounds. I guess it was official in 2018. Up until then, it was just me and Nick, as I was saying. So when
That's crazy. I swear we checked it out and we found stuff that you guys were releasing back in so it was a different name when you guys were back then, but you were still playing, you're
yeah,
saying?
so Nick, when he started in college, I think, he was just playing under his artist name, which is NW Izzard. And so when I first linked up with him, we were performing under his artist name, and that's actually when we released our first record, No Sleep, even though it was a
Okay,
collaborative, even though
that's
it was a
in the
collaborative
research,
record,
yeah.
yeah, it was under NW Izzard, and then because we weren't really sure what we were doing with the project or whatever, so when we decided to form the Honeyhounds, we re-released the our first record under the Honeyhounds and just continued to work together. That's when we added Nate and yeah, so 2018 is kind of uh, the inception year of the Honeyhounds, and we've been touring ever since then. Not as much the past couple years, uh, COVID obviously, and then worked on some new records. We've been doing these for the past 2 years, for like 1 month out of the year or 2 months out of the year. We did this Virgin Voyage artist guest artist program. Virgin Records reached out to us. They heard Spinach on Spotify, and they're like, "Hey, we're starting a cruise ship. We're like highlighting like original artists. Do you guys want to do it?" And we're like, don't really want to do a cruise. That's not really our vibe. They came back. They're like, "Oh, it's a good time. We're a little different. You should check it out." And and the itinerary was going to like Spain, Italy, and France, and we were in Ibiza every weekend. And we're like, "All right, we'll do that for a month and see how it goes."
Who
We had a
was it?
fucking killer time, and
Cruise
we
ships, these cruise ship gigs, though, they are some good experience, I
yeah, for
feel like.
sure. And it's like we use it as a paid vacation, so we didn't tour
Yeah.
as much the past 2 years. We did a handful of those. We were able to buy a new Sprinter and build it out, and we just paid that off. A couple of the guys, we bought houses and stuff, so kind of got back on our feet and paid for the last record, and now we yeah, we're gonna be hitting the road again spring 2026.
Man, that's awesome. You
Yeah,
guys
but
already got it all
touring's fun,
planned out.
man. Touring's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
Actually, I
I got
got a pretty crazy story. Our very first day of our very first tour in 2018, our first stop was South by Southwest, right, in Austin, Texas. And this is the night before the gig. So we show up, we go out partying that night, and we park the van and our trailer in front of our friend's like condo or whatever. Everyone's staying inside, but me and our tour manager were crashing the van. We wake up in the middle of the night to gunshots, and there's people running all around the car. And we're like, what the fuck's going on? And we got like an air mattress blown up in the back, and we can't get under the window line because the air mattress, right? And dude, there's gunfire going on all around the van,
damn. And
and dude, people
everybody
are
thinks
scrambling, dude.
touring's easy. This
Yeah,
is the
dude,
stuff
I
we
shit you not. And someone legit died that night right in front of the van. We opened the doors, we hauled ass like until the cops
wow,
came. And the
crazy.
next morning, the our van was in the news. It was like part of the crime scene or whatever. And we're like, hey, we got a gig in 2 hours.
Whoa.
We have a
We
gig in
got
2 hours, so we need to get out of here. But I mean, that was a fucked up way to start our first tour.
oh man. Yeah, yeah. Kind of chills the bones, but also might have been good. Like, start off as cold as it possibly gets, and then by the end
Yeah,
of the
it
tour,
didn't.
you're just
Yeah,
on fire.
T tours
Um,
highs and lows for sure.
yes, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you'll be eating like terrible food one minute, and then some stuff like that'll happen, and then hours later you'll be in front of 150 to 1,000 people, or I don't know. How big do your guys' shows usually get? Like, you guys play some big ones?
Uh,
With
yeah,
South by Southwest, obviously play some big ones,
man,
but like,
music is the
so
most humbling occupation in the world. We Here's another funny story for you. So we played the biggest show we've ever played, hopefully not, but probably the biggest show we'll ever play. We had this random opportunity and we opened for um, One Republic, the pop band, and it was at BYU at this festival called Stadium of Fire. And there's 48,000 people there.
oh,
And we're like, all right, this is gonna be the new normal. Like we made it. Like this is our break or whatever. Our very next gig, we flew back to Florida and we were supposed to play this other festival. Well, it got rained out, so it got moved inside to a gymnasium. And because of the rain, most of the people left. So went from playing a stadium to 48,000 people. The very next day, we're playing a gymnasium to like 40 people sitting in lawn chairs. And we're like, all right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know how
All
to
right,
play.
and we're
Yeah,
back. So it's humbling, man. It's
and like,
you
I
know,
mean, I
and
don't
there's
know.
no shortcut. This is like one of the few industries like you can't even paying to play, like you can't make people like your music. You can't force
No,
people to come to your shows. So there is no shortcuts in this business. Like sure I guess there's shortcuts, but
there is, but there's
there's
not
no
really. There's
guaranteed
not to get
success.
people back to listening to Led Zeppelin. And that the problem with that is it all goes back to media and stuff too. And that's why I've kind of like set my stuff aside and been like, all right, we got to build this super media company because that that and the theory of divide and conquer. If you look at rock music as a whole, big picture, all the subgenres. It's just one. Pop music is a little like hip hop and R&B because it's not really it's pop music is popular music, you know what I mean? But if you look at, but we are so divided and pigeonholed in all our own little things, and it only gets worse when it gets heavier too. Like metal people are like, "Well, I'm this and I'm that." But I'm just saying that once we all come together, I think that them problems will be solved because people love great music. People
Yeah, man.
love seeing
It's
bands.
one of the few
But
universal languages is music, man. And that's
if
um
you look at like what Hendrix and Joplin and everybody were kind of trying to do was to like really bring everybody together and kind of make more of a movement out of everything. I think they wanted to make like a political lobby and stuff too, all kinds of weird shit. But I mean, so I'm just saying we kind of gotta go back to that root and be like,
well
less.
it takes one extreme to go to the next extreme, right? It's like the swing of the pendulum. And I think I think rock and analog music and soul music particularly is gonna have a strong comeback just because AI music is about to have its day in the sun. So what's the farthest thing away from AI would be soul music, right?
And it's
Something that literally takes
so
soul
great.
to make. So I think hopefully in the next 5 years, but you know, the the creative world usually moves in sync. So like if you look at the fashion now, it looks like 90s grunge and you got Jinkos and all that shit coming back. I called it 10 years ago when I was at a music festival. I told my friend, well, Nick actually, I was like, watch, disco's going to make a comeback. Disco's going to be the next thing. He's like, no way. I'm like, I'm telling you it is.
Have you
And
seen artists like
sure enough, like
Neil
disco,
Francis and
oh, yeah,
I
I
mean,
fucking
and
love them.
you guys are yeah, have a vibe for that. And it's not like some whacked out stuff. Like it's roots. Yeah, I appreciate it. Um,
Yeah. Like
and
yeah,
yeah,
disco's great. And
that's kind of
I knew it was coming. And as soon as you heard like Bruno Mars doing funk songs and shit, you know?
oh yeah, yeah.
Like
And it's not like I mean the 70s era really was where we figured out tone and sounds and stuff, and we kind of perfected it late 70s, mastered it and everything. And then disco was our pretty good, but like we always draw back to those sounds because that's like the analog, like you said, the natural sounds
hmm
that we
And
really I mean, when you get into solid state and all that stuff, it's super fun to play with, and you can now mimic sounds and everything, and it's great. But like you're saying, when it comes to AI making music for us, it's never gonna be. I can make a song about my dog, like he's the coolest dog in the world, you
well,
know.
I
But
see it as a tool. Like it's there's like no barrier of entry anymore for non-creatives to be in the creative space, which I mean, that's cool. I guess that's a great outlet for people who don't naturally gravitate towards maybe those creative spaces, but I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. I know of a personal story. Um, so Max in our band, he's also in another band. They're like our ancestral stepbrothers. They're called Trash Panda. And right now, the DSPs, there's like little to no oversight of people releasing music under other people's names. There's not like no one's accountable for that. So this artist went and did, I think it was 250 AI songs and
I
set them
seen
to
that.
publish as singles under this band Trash Panda, which they already have a great following and have been releasing music for 10 years. They've been building that brand. And now this guy basically hijacked their artist name and is releasing trash music that they don't stand behind.
See, and this
So,
kind of goes back to why we need a lobby and why we need to do the stuff that John Lennon and everybody were talking about back then. And like other things like ticket sales, other things like I'm going on in September 5th with John Bound, who's a really cool reporter, and we're going to talk nothing about, you know, Spotify. All right, so for you and your music to succeed, you have to compete with minute 30. You have to compete with other things like Led Zeppelin and all the classic rock before your music hits, where like, hip hop doesn't have to compete with Tupac and Biggie for their music to hit. It's just gonna hit because it's in a different bracket. And then there's like this whole thing with thresholds where you gotta have 1,000 plays for a song to even track on a playlist and certain stuff like that, monetization, to where it's really holding musicians down. Like if you look at it too as like a comparative scale of where you would be back and selling CDs, you didn't have to sell 1,000 CDs to even get 1 millicent off of your album. Like if you sold 1,000 CDs, you were able to reinvest some money into your band and move forward. And it needs to be looked at more like each individual band is a small business, because that's what it is that creates revenue through
Yeah.
merchandise sales and touring. And there's all this stuff that we have to do. And um it needs to be more respected. And that's like,
Yeah.
like why we're doing what we're doing.
I'm still hopeful that it can go back in the right direction. Like I said, I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. But going back to my buddies in Trash Panda, to counteract it, they're going back to selling physical. So this next record, I think they're gonna wait a couple months to release it on streaming platforms, and you're gonna have to buy a physical copy if you want to support the band. So that's like one small step in the right direction, but we're definitely gonna have to figure something out because
And it's kind of like,
streaming's cooked.
getting everybody to eat healthy, you know what I mean? Everybody's got to just look at like, do I want real music? Do I want real art? And support it. We'll be right back. Thank you everybody for watching The Green Room, and we'll be back.
A glimpse behind the scene. The Green Room.
What's up, rock fans? Have I got something for you, man? Methylene Blue. This stuff is incredible. And it's not just about the energy, but how well it does for your body. It gets things past the blood-brain barrier, all this stuff, but it's going to give you primal energy. I've talked to like 3 different artists lately, and they said how they've been using Methylene Blue while they're on tour, and how it's helping them more than a Red Bull or some pick me up, drag me down stuff. But this stuff gives you the best energy. Don't take it if you're on SSRIs or antidepressants or any of that stuff. Consult your doctor before taking it and do your own research. But I am telling you that I have experienced some healthy energy with Methylene Blue. I've heard of people that take it and they use it while they're on tour, and it does wonders for them. It's one of the first drugs that ever came out, and luckily we got a sponsor for it, and we're bringing it to our readers and our viewers. So go to our website and click on the Methylene Blue link and take it there. Help us, and we love helping you. So it's like a win for everybody. We would not be doing any of this without our friends at DistroKid. If you are an artist or a new musician trying to get your music out there on all the big platforms like Spotify and iHeartRadio, go check out DistroKid. And while you're at it, use our code and get 20% off. Yes, 20% off your membership fees. Check out DistroKid and support Soundwave. Thank you. If If you're a guitar player and you're looking for a great new acoustic guitar or custom guitar, check out Zager Guitars. They support us here at Soundwave, but not only that, they make excellent, excellent guitars. Check out ZagerGuitars.com.
A glimpse behind the scenes. The Green Room.
All right, everybody, and welcome back to the Green Room. Yes, we got on Tyler from the Honeyhounds, and we've been talking about
Yo,
everything from the creation of the band to everything. Um, and before we get right back into everything, I just want to plug one more time and tell everybody that your support keeps us rolling here at Soundwave Music Media. So go support the sponsors, go support everything we're doing there. And without further ado, we're gonna dive into everything kind of more recent that you guys have been doing. I want to talk about the Close to Me album and all that. Yeah, talk about that album and some of the live sessions that maybe went down on that album and just take it away, brother.
all right. So, Close to Me is our latest studio record. We put that out April of last year, 2024. We um we started releasing singles off of that, I think in 2021 or 2022. We weren't really sure if we were doing a full length record. We just kind of had a few singles that we wrote. During that time, we were building out our studio. So slowly, as we were building the studio out, we were recording a song here and there. So the first three songs, singles of that
Well, hold
record.
hold up real quick. So go back and kind of elaborate on that. So you're saying building out studios. You guys have your own studio. You don't go to somebody else for. So you guys are producing and engineering and doing all the work on all your music that we're hearing.
Yeah, on the latest record, moving forward. Yeah, we
And
got a studio here. It started out kind of in our rehearsal space, but as we, started building it out a little more, I ended up moving it into the loft in my house. So we do most of the tracking here. Yeah, and mixed and mastered the last record. It's it takes way longer than it would if you just, hand it off and get it done professionally elsewhere, but you can really dive into it and get the take that you want. And
I feel like that means more because like you guys really choose every aspect of how you sound.
yeah, for sure.
And
So
it's incredibly professional quality. There's no need to go anywhere else. Um,
appreciate it, man. So, we like doing late nights and experimenting and doing all types of, you know, see where the music can go.
and
So
you get unlimited time in the studio. Who does the mixing and the mastering?
I do that.
Impressive.
Thank you, man. But
Yes,
yeah, me,
sir.
me and Nick have a bunch of late sessions where we'll talk about the mix and work on the mix and stuff together. But yeah, I've really dove into like some of the engineering stuff the past couple of years, just this last record out of really just necessity, just working on a song until it sounds the way you want it to.
Right, right. So do you guys when you're recording your songs, I mean, it sounds like it's just a natural circus over there. But I mean, do you ever get when you're mixing, I guess, do you ever listen to like other songs from the 70s era and stuff and kind of try to match tones and get tones that are closer, or do you just
I
go with
mean,
your ear?
I think, I mean, we always have reference tracks, but that's more for like the actual mixing. There's like a mix that I want it to sound like, or a master, or, I want it to hit like this record or be as saturated as this record, whatever. But maybe subconsciously hearing tones and trying to, be influenced by them. But I think a lot of it just comes out in the creative process. And um, we're kind of gear nerds too. Like Nick's got a ton of analog pedals and effects on his board, so
I
he's
was
he's
kind of
great
gonna
at
go there
tone
next. I mean,
sculpting. Yeah, he's great at that. So um, and I'm a student of just old music and um 60s, 70s and the 80s and all that type of stuff from analog even going to digital and synth. So I think we know what we're looking for when we're writing a song, but definitely having some reference tracks to keep you honest and humble too. Just a lot of time. That's why it takes so long for me. I hear a mix, I think it's amazing, but you go do the car test and maybe it's not hitting like you thought it did, or you put it next to, Arctic Monkeys record and it just sounds fucking so massive, and then your mix just sounds all
Tiny.
flaccid after that. So
Yeah.
it's like, all right, time to get back to work. But yeah, but also keeping, you know, your own sound. Make sure that always comes through first.
Absolutely. So I mean, and so you talked about gear and coming in, and we'll get back on track, I promise. But you talked about gear. So how's this gear come in for all this? Is it mostly your equipment, or is everybody kind of bring their own equipment? And I do like that how you guys have your own studio because it's almost guaranteed. Yes, it's going to be most of their guitars and all that stuff. So what you hear in studio is pretty much what you're going to hear on stage.
Yeah,
And
for sure. And that's something that um that's something that we don't experiment too far into, is we don't want to get lost down the engineering rabbit hole and like over engineer something, but I mean pretty much everything you hear on the record is our direct tones are coming from, what we use, like the pedal board or Max's matches patches and all that stuff on his keys. But it is fun to fuck around post production and just kind of see where you can take it. But a lot of times we've even reverse engineered some things that happy accidents or just a sweet tone or something that we liked in the studio, and we just reverse engineer it, and now that becomes part of the song.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that's the beauty and not creating some song in a practice room and taking it to a studio is that when you build songs in the studio, they evolve and become what they're actually going to be.
Yeah,
I mean, I
absolutely.
do the same stuff. I record and engineer all my stuff. And when you do that, yeah, you have so much more freedom, so much more time. And when you're working with the mix and the master, then you get to decide.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, well, let's come back around to, you were talking about you guys released the first three singles off Close to Me, and then I interrupted you. So,
Yeah,
go
so
ahead.
more our first time playing those songs. So we had a couple songs, weren't sure what we were gonna do with them. We just released them as singles, maybe 6, 8 months apart. Um, we did those live in our rehearsal space. That's when we first set up the smaller version of the studio. And that became what is now the Noir Sessions, which we release on YouTube, but also we put um, the board recording as a live record. So that's on, you can stream that. That's called the Noir Sessions. And then we ended up recording another, I don't know, 6 or 7 songs to round it out to a full LP. And that ended up being the record Close to Me. And that's what we released last year, April 24.
Awesome, man. And as a as a drummer, like, what's one of the funnest songs to play that's just got you get to really let loose?
Off that record,
Yeah.
um, the title track "Close to Me" is pretty fun, just because it's kind of a dynamic song. It's just got a fun groove, and then the outro to the song just slowly builds from just toms all the way to crashing out for the last 16 bars. So it's a fun song to play. Got a nice little finale at the end. So that our whole last tour last year, that was the opening track we'd come out to.
Oh, and you just burn it up and then cut into all the other songs.
Yeah,
That's
so the intro on the record actually, Max was on tour with Trash Panda, and I was like, we need live when we would play Close to Me, he would do this kind of like arpeggiated, like glittery type thing atmosphere during the little outro bridge section. And we'd all did our parts and Max was on tour. I was like, hey, can you record a part in like the hotel room and send it over to us for the bridge? And he did this beautiful layered thing that was actually the intro of the record. So I just listened to it isolated the first time, and um, I thought it was pretty powerful. So I was like, I wonder what we did if we made this the intro to the song, and then you kind of hear it again as the outro. But um, yeah, so that's kind of how that happened with that song. So now it's kind of got like a built-in intro and outro. So it's a good closer or opening song of the set.
I like how natural you guys are, you know? Like things just happen with and I relate to it a lot, but and it really is rock and roll. That's like the true essence of rock and roll. You like Billy Joel?
Yeah, dude, for sure.
He's like I think it's him and he's like everybody's talking about the new sound, old sound, still rock and roll to me. And like
Yeah.
that's we got to come back together as like um as a genre of a whole. But yeah, so do you guys mess around with any like reggae stuff at all?
Um, we have on our first record, there was definitely a little bit of reggae influence. Like I said, we were living on a sailboat in the Keys, so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I was listening to a lot of roots reggae at that time, like um 10 Foot Ganja Plant, like obviously all of Bob's early stuff, Peter Tosh, Wailing Souls, Gregory Isaac, all that stuff. Um, so I think Nick was obviously exposed to more than he had been used to. So we have a song, "Easy Like the Breeze." That's like it's kind of like an acoustic. Well, it's definitely an acoustic song on the record. Just me with the shaker on one side of the sailboat in my cabin, and Nick had an acoustic guitar in the other cabin. It's it's both the it's both of those simultaneously. Actually, I think on two mics. We
And
had a
you guys just
vocal mic.
recorded it right there in the cabin.
Yeah,
Th- That's awesome.
yeah. That song's called "Easy Like the Breeze." We don't play that one that much, but when the time calls for it, you know. Um, and then we have a song, "The Sun's Gonna Shine," which was a song I wrote. That was probably the first song I wrote with putting my lyrics to Nick's composition that he put together. Was that song? So that song's kind of a little bit how we were living at the time, and it's pretty fucking rugged, sailing around, playing gigs. It was an exciting time.
That is awesome. That's got to be the clip for this. Dude, yeah. I mean,
Dude,
how cool is that?
dude,
These
when
guys
we
have sailed around on a boat playing gigs. How
so
rock and roll is that?
the craziest run we did, it was actually when we were when I first bought the boat. It was in Fort Lauderdale, and we were sailing it down to the Keys. Big Pine Key is where we ended up living for a year. But on that sail, we had like 4 or 5 shows booked, and we couldn't get back in time. So we got our homie Nate. Um, he well, he was actually sailing with us. No, I take that back. That's right. He drove the van, met with us. Then I got my sister who lived in the Keys. God bless her heart. She drove only like an hour a day with all of our gear in the van to the venue. we would sail there, me and the homies, and then we'd play the gig, load it back up, and then she'd drive like another like hour and a half to the next key, to the next venue. It'd take us all day to sail there. We did that for like 4 or 5 shows when we were moving the boat down. So we were legit playing gigs the whole way down.
Dang, that's crazy, bro. I was
Yeah.
about to ask, like, how do y'all load the boat with music,
We
gear,
didn't so
and
we didn't keep it
that's
on the boat. We kept it at a friend's house on shore. So there was actually this saint of a lady. Her name was Jenny, and she was actually a songwriter too, actually. This crazy old broad, but she was so sweet, and she would let us keep our gear down there. I don't know if you've ever been to the Keys, especially the South Keys. All the houses are built up, right? Because it floods so much during hurricanes. So down low's like the garage, but a lot of them have like converted apartments down there. So she let us keep our gear there. And if the weather was ever bad or it was just like too late coming home from a gig, she'd let us crash in the apartment downstairs instead of dinghying out to the sailboat or whatever. So yeah, God bless her. But no, it wasn't a sustainable lifestyle gigging on the sailboat for sure. It's too much work, too many factors, and the Keys were a good place to start, but um, you know, other than a couple venues, the Green Parrot's a great one. There's several good venues, but you're playing the mostly tourists, so when they're in the Keys, they want to hear Jimmy Buffett
I was
covers,
just
and
about to say, yeah.
it's not a great place for to start
So,
your
question,
career playing
do you
original music.
do you still have the sailboat?
I don't know. It actually it didn't get sank, but Hurricane Irma, when that came through, I think in 2017, um like took it into the mangroves along with like all the other boats there in the
Man.
Keys. Um and yeah, FEMA came through and they gave everyone like a month to get all your shit off the boat or get it, back into the water.
So, are you gonna get you another boat?
Eventually, probably when I retire, but it's you got to be using it, otherwise you're
It's
working on
yeah,
the boat every time you go out to use
yeah,
it. So till I can
absolutely.
like live on it again, or it's a good retirement plan, but you know, I like having a studio where I live now, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe you can have like a solar powered sailboat studio when you
yeah,
retire. Um, so like yeah, let's get back into the music stuff, of course. Everybody wants to hear about music. Obviously, it's Soundwave. Um, so I mean, for the drummers, let's talk about drums. I think you might be one of the first drummer. No, no, no. We interviewed Chris Sester of Jet. You know Jet, Cold Hard Bitch, just
oh
a kiss
yeah,
on the lips. Yeah, we interviewed him. He's pretty awesome.
classic tune
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah, he's actually they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame of Australia. Cool. But they got a new I'm not here to promote a bunch of jet, but he's got a new band out, Mystic Knights and stuff. Maybe pair the two together and y'all play a show together. It'd be
Let's do
pretty
it.
awesome. Um, but yeah, back to the music. Like, let's talk drums, dude. So like what do you use? What cymbals do you use? There's a bunch of drummers out there that want to know how to get that sound. And you got that sound. So how do you get
Thank
that
you, man.
sound?
So my studio kit is a Ludwig. It's a club date. Um, 2012, 14 setup. It's actually this guy right here. I don't know if you can see that.
Probably have to
There you
bleep
go.
that out. Look at that thing.
That's my girl right there. Um, yeah, Ludwig tubs. I play Istanbul cymbals mostly. I do have some old Zildjian A customs. Um, but I love Istanbuls. I got some dry, dark ones that are really nice. Also, they got the best clap stack in the game. Love Istanbul. Um, Yeah, that's my studio setup. And
You
then
said you got some classic Zildjian cymbals?
yeah, so my one of my best friends, his dad he was a drummer in like the 70s. So I ended up getting his ride. It's like a 20-inch
Yo, them
ride.
rides, bro.
Yeah, I have the newer version of it, but it's just super bright. So unless I
Yeah,
was
and it's
live,
all
like
like this.
yeah, so
And them old ones
this
got
one's
that.
super weathered. Yeah, the flattered small bell. I looked up the bottom stamp. You can kind of barely see it. So I know the rough time period. I think it's the late 60s, the late 60s or early 70s or something like that. But it's got a nice dark sound that sits in the mix really nice. And then my live drum kit is a Sonar. It's actually I don't know the year, but it's like an older player series sonar. So it's like their entry level kit, but it's just built so robust. It's a workhorse and it never gets out of tune. It's punchy. Um, yeah, I love that kit. So sonars are kick ass. Eventually I'd like to have a nice
Yeah.
sonar kit. Maybe maybe we would replace this one, but Ludwig's just the tone of them, man. They sound so good, especially on record. Um, so yeah, the Sonar is also a 20-inch kick. I love a 20-inch kick. 10-inch rack, 14 floor, and then I play the Istanbuls out live.
Heck yeah,
But
dude.
usually I play the A hats, Zildjian A hi-hats live.
Cheers.
Well, thanks, man.
Oh man. Let's talk a little bit more about like your guys' latest releases and maybe what you want to see from some future releases.
Yeah, so we're working on another full-length record right now. Um, hoping to start releasing singles off of that beginning of 2026, so January, February. We got a spring tour we're halfway through booking right now that's going to start in March. So definitely going to have some singles out by then, leading to the full release next year. And I think it's the best music that we've written and captured to date. So I'm really excited about it. We got some kind of heavier stuff on there that stuff we definitely have teased in the live shows a lot the past couple years, but none of it's made it on record. So definitely excited for
I'm excited for that because we've watched live show footage and then we've actually had one of our dudes has been we have a Florida reporter that caught you guys' show. It's like we got a report on Honeyhounds. And I was like,
cool.
dang. And then when we looked you up, I was like, they ain't got nothing as heavy as and that's really cool that you're gonna show that aspect of the band because you guys get more psychedelic too than well, I don't know.
Yeah,
Some of your later releases kind of achieved that. I'd say with when Max came in with the keys. Um,
yeah,
but I'm excited. I'm excited for this new heavy stuff.
yeah, man.
So
So got some heavy stuff, some stuff that's a little more contemporary, but yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a diverse record for sure. I'm excited. There's going to be some new stuff on there that if you haven't seen us live recently, then it'll be a nice surprise for you.
Ice, you done kind of covered and run back through it one more time. So when do you think this new album's gonna come out? And then jump into some merchandise.
Um, so 2026, it'll be coming out. I would say probably summer 2026. We're gonna start dropping singles in early next year. So yeah, halfway through next year. And then yeah, we're gonna have some whole new merch line gonna drop around that time as well. We're revamping our whole merch line, getting ready for the spring tour. We got some dates booked on that tour in Colorado. We're going to be going through Texas. We have a few festivals uh, back in Florida that we're stoked about. We're actually playing, we just announced with, we're opening for Taj Mahal and Tedeschi Trucks Band at Tedeschi Trucks Band's festival. It's called Sun, Sand, and Soul Festival, and that's in Miramar Beach, Florida in 2026. So come out to that one. It's a killer lineup. Drive-by truckers, a couple nights at Tedeschi Trucks. Yeah, that'll be a good one.
That's an insane lineup. You're playing with Taj Mahal, bro.
I know, dude. It's crazy.
That's
There's not
like,
there's not there's not many legends from that era, still doing it. Him and Buddy Guy.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it's cool. We kind of had some brief interaction with Buddy Guy. Actually at a Tedeschi Trucks show. This was probably 3 months ago. Tedeschi Trucks Band uh, had their residency. They did like a week long run at Beacon Theater in New York, and we were playing this Land Rover festival just outside of the city in New York, just randomly called Destination Defender. So we get back to the city and stay that night, and we're like, "Oh shit, Derek and Susan are here." I forgot that was this week. So we actually met them at a festival that we put on called Honey Island Music Festival. That's our own festival we put on here in like the Jack's Beach area. We can get
Wait, so
into
you
that in a
guys have
second.
your own festival now?
Yeah, we do. And we've done it 2 years. We had to take a year off because we had to move venues. We outgrew the venue
Man,
here. In
next year, are we doing?
26, we should be coming back. We're talking to some new venues now, but
Well, let's have Soundwave there somehow, even if it's like through you, and maybe we
sure,
can hook
man.
you up with some sort of something. Um,
Yeah, we met Derek and Susan. A mutual friend brought them to our festival, and we ended up hitting it off. And um, oh, so we hit them up. We're like, hey, we see you're at the Beacon. Like, maybe we'll come see you. So they got us tickets to the show, and during the show, we're like front row, right there in the middle, and we didn't even know until the day of that a buddy was opening for him on the first like 3 nights or something. So Buddy Guy comes out, and I saw him one other time, like 4 years ago, and he's just so incredible, man. Like he's amazing, such a legend, such an inspiration, and to see him like 5 feet away was incredible. But just during his show, he's just like talking shit to everyone and just having the best time. So we kind of, interacted a little bit, but it was cool. It was a nice surprise. So yeah, Derek and Susan got us right in front of Buddy Guy, and now they put us on their festival to open for Taj Mahal. So incredibly grateful for them and everything that they're doing, man. I can't say enough good things about them. Not only they're like one of the best to ever do it, but just so
eh,
nice, and they give back to the local community here like so hard in the music scene. Always supporting local venues, and they're just great
they
people,
are
man. So
incredible,
shout
dude.
out
They are
Derek and Susan.
incredible.
Love you guys.
Everybody in the music industry can say, "Oh, this guy, that guy," but these people are true legends. They're, to me, like, it's about what you do, what's your legacy. Just like if you were a president, when you're coming out with an album, it's like rallying for a presidential campaign. And when you're leaving out, it's what are you giving back from what's been given you? How are you helping bridge a gap? How are you helping make a ladder for the next guy to come up and hold the torch of rock and roll and be and keep rock and roll going forever, because like we don't want it to die. It teaches peace, it teaches all these good things,
Yeah.
it's good for the universe to rock and roll, bro. And I
Amen.
mean, um it's always been whatever held down. I mean, um so like we're gonna start to wrap it up. I mean, how do people follow you guys? Where's the best place to follow you guys at? And
Um,
see what's coming
yeah,
next.
all the social media stuff. Well, not all of it, but Instagram mostly. Honeyhounds Music. We're on Facebook. Follow us on Bands in Town, so you know when we're touring through your city. Spotify. Follow us on Spotify. We got a bunch of music out, a bunch more coming out.
Absolutely.
Um,
Support and
come see
listen
us
to the
on
band for sure.
tour.
You guys got albums for sale? I just wanted to throw that in. Somebody asked if you guys got album sale on your
Right
website
now
or
on the
anything.
website, the only one we have available currently, until the website gets relaunched with all our new merch line and everything, we have vinyls of the last record, Close to Me,
Nice, nice, nice. All
and
right,
the
man.
limited edition pink vinyl. So
What?
get them while they're hot. There's a handful
Yeah,
left.
yeah. Limited print, probably. Are you guys gonna put
Yeah,
more after that, or
yeah,
is it gonna be limited?
but not of that
Not of the
that
pink.
variant. Yeah, so
Nice,
yeah, get those,
nice.
but
We'll have
we'll
to get
have
one of those.
yeah, by spring we're gonna have everything back on vinyl. Um, Obviously you can buy digital downloads, but yeah, come out to a show. That's the biggest thing you could do for an artist if they're touring close to you or in your city. Go buy tickets, go see them
Yeah,
live, bring a friend with you,
because
buy
like
a t-shirt, all that good stuff, goes a long way.
I don't know, it was you guys or another band that I've been researching heavily lately, but somebody was like, "Oh, we got a million plays on Spotify. We can buy a round of beer." Like, yeah, go out and see live music. And with that, like we'd like to thank everybody for watching and everything. We're coming in on the end of the show, and man, we got Tyler on from Honeyhounds. Go support them. Go buy merchandise. Go watch their shows. Support this interview. Share the interview. Share Soundwave Music Media with all your friends. Help us expand. Help us all grow as a huge rock and roll community. And we thank you for watching. And that kind of does us up. Thank you for coming on, brother. We got to get you back on
Yeah.
and just say thank you to the audience. And
Yeah, appreciate
we're
it,
out.
man. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Peace.
The Green Room, a dive into the minds of the artist.
Some people keep their fingers clean, others use dirty paper. Me, baby, I'm somewhere in between. My poison comes in flavors. I've known cats gamble on the scene, wish now they played it safer. One lick can turn you to a fiend. Yeah, but it'll make or break you.
I'm not the money, baby. Stand back and watch it go. I ring your phone, baby. Stash and hit the road. Don't get your money, baby. Stash it and watch it go. We spend it like the 80s. Can't take it when you go.
Some people living day to day, most living for tomorrow. So many take it to the grave while others beg and borrow. Young bloods always gonna make a name, leeches are sure to follow. Make change and see who's still the same, but that's a hard pill to swallow.
What's up, rock fans? Have I got something for you, man? Methylene Blue. This stuff is incredible. And it's not just about the energy, but how well it does for your body. It gets things past the blood-brain barrier, all this stuff, but it's going to give you primal energy. I've talked to like 3 different artists lately, and they said how they've been using Methylene Blue while they're on tour, and how it's helping them more than a Red Bull or some pick me up, drag me down stuff. But this stuff gives you the best energy. Don't take it if you're on SSRIs or antidepressants or any of that stuff. Consult your doctor before taking it and do your own research. But I am telling you that I have experienced some healthy energy with Methylene Blue. I've heard of people that take it and they use it while they're on tour, and it does wonders for them. It's one of the first drugs that ever came out, and luckily we got a sponsor for it, and we're bringing it to our readers and our viewers. So go to our website and click on the Methylene Blue link and take it there. Help us, and we love helping you. So it's like a win for everybody. We would not be doing any of this without our friends at DistroKid. If you are an artist or a new musician trying to get your music out there on all the big platforms like Spotify and iHeartRadio, go check out DistroKid. And while you're at it, use our code and get 20% off. Yes, 20% off your membership fees. Check out DistroKid and support Soundwave. Thank you. If you're a guitar player and you're looking for a great new acoustic guitar or custom guitar, check out Zager Guitars. They support us here at Soundwave, but not only that, they make excellent guitars. Check out ZagerGuitars.com.